Alright, we live. Any guesses on to what the culprit was? Not quite. One of the speaker cables had unseated by like a millimeter. But so basically, just go through. I mean, it's pretty similar to IT stuff. You go through and just and you just feel click. Oh, Christ Almighty! Just go through every connection available to you. Alright, let me see. Let me jump on Facebook real quick in the Discord and drop that we are live. Top TV / ba ba ba. Let's hit that. The other amp, the first amp I was using though, was in the process of blowing a power tube. Alright, let's see. Good old troubleshooting. Back up. Let's shoot this message off. Let's jump into Discord real quick. Alrighty. Alright. Let's get that going. Check this out. Let's check the Discord and see what the recommendations were. Alright. Close that. Holy moly. Alright. Hopefully this guitar will work. This is a very early Jackson Rhodes. This is the 60th one made from 1983, and the electronics in it are getting kind of spotty too. But it's pretty much the most appropriate guitar on earth for the kind of stuff we're gonna be jamming with tonight. So hopefully it'll make it through it without any catastrophic electronic failures. I need to replace all the pots in it and the switch too, really, for that matter. All right. Maddie, is that you, Maddie, or is that James? Hold on a minute, I need a little mid-range. Oh, hey, did you notice the shirt I'm wearing, Alec? It's technically too short for me, but as long as I'm sitting down, it won't be a problem. This is the I had the Deliverance hooked up at first, like when I first started the stream, and it decided it's going to like blow a tube, which is great because KT88s are expensive as crap. So I went to hook up. Decided that the Electron that I'd been using really didn't quite get like metal tones properly. It was a little too fuzzed out and a little too soft. So I hooked up the old Kasha Rock Mod preamp, which is, you know, as 80s as can be. The EQ on it's a little weird though. I can't quite get it dialed in exactly how I want in the room. But it is pretty mean. Well, see, the thing is you got to buy a whole set though. Like you can't just insert a mismatched KT88. Freaking ground problem. Otherwise, you get weird crossover distortion. All right, let's see. Hey, Keep, are you back yet? All right, so I got the guitar in C-sharp tuning because I thought it'd be fun. I went and listened to some of the songs you guys suggested, and I thought it'd be fun to try that Venom tune. So, looks like it's in C-sharp standard. But I have to listen to it a couple times to get the rhythm down, because I've never learned it before, but it doesn't seem too hard. Probably need a little bit less low end. Yeah, I was surprised at how low it was, dude. I was figuring like E flat or something, but no, it's all the way down in C sharp. Because you can hear him, like he's playing the open string, which is clearly like this F sharp sound, but then you actually hear him go lower. So let's give it a listen over here. I'm going to listen to it on my other computer. So just in case. All right. So it's all pretty much power chords. At least at first. Sounds like it needs to be basically all mids before people figured out the scoop. So you can dial in a little more mid-range over here. Right, pretty easy. Biggest thing's really just the speed. Just getting that right hand going. Have a power chord to the 3rd fret on the A string. Then a whole measure of 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... So... So just kind of descending chromatically. Then after it gets to, from the 1st fret down here, it drops down to the 3rd fret power chord on the E string, down to an open. Then we jump up to the octave of that power chord, the 7th fret on the A string, 7, 9, 9. Or we could play that down here if we want to stay in the same area. Starting on the D string is 2, 4, 5. Both the same power chord. Slightly different timbre depending on where we play it at. So, not really that complex conceptually. You know, not really even that complex as far as left hand goes. Basically just getting it up to tempo, because it's pretty darn quick. Let's see, that's kind of about where that's at. One E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 and 1 E and a 2 and a 3 and then let's jump back over here. We basically just repeat that throughout, looks like all of the verse. Then we have a little bridge section that we'll have to look at and listen to in a minute. Have you got your guitar in C sharp yet, Keep? Oh, let me pull up the stream on my other thing too and get into mod view in case we have any more spammers like the other day. Let's see, how do we do that? Mod view, there we go. Okay. Yeah, you missed it the other night, Alec. We had our first ban of the stream. The first ban, some guy came in here trying to sell followers or some junk like that. So finally got to use like the mod panel. Took us a minute, but figured it out. Alrighty, let's see. So we'll run through that verse a few more times, that main riff and verse a few more times. We'll look at the next section because it's pretty repetitive. So 3rd fret on the A string, power chord. 16th note open strings for a whole measure. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... Then we simply move down chromatically to the 2nd fret. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... Down to the 1st fret. After we get down to the 1st fret, we go to the 3rd fret on the E string, down to the open E string power chord. One E and a 2 E and a 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a... And just all the way through, recycle that. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. Not bad at all, really. Not bad at all. Let's give a listen to the next section, because I don't think it's too bad either. Probably where they play it. We can play that in a couple different places. I have a power chord at the 5th fret on the A string for the sort of the little chorus or bridge here. Then we drop down to either the 2nd fret on the A string. So we could also play that power chord as the open D chord, D5, the soul of rock, according to Mark Harper. So either transition down that way. We could even transition all the way down to the 7th fret on the E string. You could do that. That's actually a little bit easier to finger. Not sure, I'd have to watch them live to see which particular fingering they're using. But either way, we're going from a D power chord to the note B on the 2nd fret. It's technically not B because of the tuning we're in, but, you know, would be B if we were in standard tuning. Whole measure of that, then a power chord there at the 2nd fret. We have to just make that transition down pretty quickly, which is why I kind of suspect that it's probably here on the 7th fret. Versus the open could be a possibility. That gives us a very Judas Priest sound. Then let's see, what do we have? We have Alright, let's listen to that section again. That's our little, I guess, our chorus. Alright, so that's pretty easy. So that's the 7th fret on the G string and the D string, kind of at the little tag end of the chorus section there. Then a power chord on 7 on the E string, 7 and 9. And we simply go down to the 5th fret. Do that twice. So see how many times we do the first part. Hold on a second. Let's listen to it again. That 7 and 9 could be played. It's actually part of a D power chord anyway. So if you wanted to just maintain the D power chord shape, you could simply slide that. Versus playing just the inverted power chord on top. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're playing that up here. To me, it doesn't sound like they go down to the open string in that section. So, first part. up to that part. You got it so far? You getting it? Let's see. Sounds like we go back towards the verse. Yes, then we hit the verse riff again. Need a little bit less bass. Hold on a second. Let me take the bass out. We're getting a little loose here. So then right back in to that verse riff once. Then we have our black metal part. So let's listen to it and see how it goes. Boom, boom, boom. So then we have, sounds like little, it's like small power chords or partial power chords making their way kind of up. That's pretty close. Is that tritone in there though? Back it up a little. Very, very briefly. So we come into a power chord, another A power chord here for the, I guess this is technically the chorus. The other part would be like the pre-chorus or the bridge, depending on how you want to define it. So we come back into just like an A, an open A sort of vamp, just like in the verse. We can come into it from a G though, so we either play it as the 5th fret on the E string, right? Then we have a little sort of chromatic riff coming up on the B string and the G string. We start off with the open B and G, then 1st fret on the B. We're just kind of letting these ring out. Then we have a little quicker sort of, excuse me, I feel like I'm going to sneeze, slightly syncopated. Boom. Let's listen to the timing again. Boom. 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 Sounds like something's slightly missing here. Boom. Boom, 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 yeah. So, double open. We come out of this. Hit both of these strings open, B and G. Then same 2 strings, 1st fret and open G string, 1st fret B string. Then we're going to have a little bit quicker riff where we have 2nd fret on the B, then second fret on the G, third fret on the B, then back to that open G, first fret on the B. So, and it's actually pretty sloppy. Like, he's hitting the strings. You can tell the strings are tuned way down. And he's like, they're kind of flopping all over the place and slightly detuning themselves when he hits them. And he's catching occasionally kind of like the open A string and other stuff along with them. Oh, there goes my volume pop being weird. So, yeah, no, a lot of those dudes are rough, and I mean, you can hear it. That's part of the charm of it, right? Is that it's kind of loose. They're just like going for it. I mean, a lot of crossover during that time period with the sort of attitude of punk as well. So, like the hardcore punk guys and stuff. I mean, dude, it doesn't really start getting tight pretty much until it doesn't start getting tight in general until pretty much you get to like the proper thrash stuff starting. And even then, some bands still weren't that tight. So. One and a two and a three and a four and a one and a two and a three and a four and a one and a two and a three and a four and a one and a two and a three and a boom 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 boom. Open. Open and first fret. Second fret and open. Second fret and third fret. Back to open and first fret. Alright, and let's give it a listen. Let's listen to the next part. I think it just repeats the verse again. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, back to the main riff. Alright, so let's see. So after we come out of this section, we come back into just like an open A. We can play as the open string, or we could play a 5th fret power chord. Doesn't matter either. We start to get some little accents in there. Let's listen to how those go exactly. Actually, the accents are just on the drums. So the guitar is playing pretty much just a straight 16th note underneath that. The drums are hitting bop, 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 bop. We go back into our main riff. Well, we have a moment where there's nothing, but then we go back into our main riff. Same thing. So this is basically just a repetition of the bridge again. So a little underneath that section, the lay down your soul section, there's a quick little open power chord. just open in 2. So. Back into the main riff. Alright, so we're getting a little change here. So let's see. It sounds like a little power chord movement up. Making our way up to the A again. Let's back it up. Make its way up to the B. Sounds pretty close. Let's check it again. Yeah, so then we just let that ring out. So, the second time through, we hit the lay down your soul, open power chord, open in 2. Then 1st fret power chord up to the 3rd fret. Then 3rd fret up to the 5th fret. Then we're going to drop down a string to the A string. We're just going to go up from the 5th fret on the A string to the 7th fret. So it's essentially a D power chord to an E power chord. So, lay down your soul through the God's rock and roll. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Then we can pick slide down or finger slide down, however we want to get back to the next section of the then alright, so then we drop down to a B power chord. We can play it in the 2nd fret on the A string or on the 7th fret here on the E string. We hit the power chord at the beginning just as an accent, and then we pretty much just groove on the root note for, let's see, probably about 4 measures. Let's back that up again. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. Da 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 da. Okay. Yep. Drama pick. Great. There it is. There it is. All right. Yep. So 4 measures of the B. And at the end of the 4th measure, we drop down to the A power chord, the open A power chord, or if we're playing it up here, the 5th fret power chord. And we simply move up chromatically back to the B. Right back into it. Alright, so let's see. Da 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 da. We'll repeat that again. And the last time it changes a little bit. Let me listen to it again. So that sounds like we got to jump up to the E power chord. Yeah. So we're going to jump all the way up to the E power chord at the 7th fret on the A string again. Then down to the D power chord at the 5th fret. Then we're back into the 16th note rhythm for, let's see, probably about a measure. Let's listen to it again. So it's actually 8th notes. Sounds like mostly 8th notes. So we're coming out of 16th notes, straight 16th notes with the B. And we pretty much play through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Then we're going to get a little pull-off riff. So everybody got it up to this point? You got it, Keep? The actual chords themselves, again, are pretty much just power chords. Nothing too crazy. It's all just right hand. But, I mean, the kind of stuff you play shouldn't be a problem at all. All right, let's listen to this this pull-off riff that's coming on next. So, I mean, you're the one that that suggested it. So if it's too easy for you, it's your own fault. All right. So pull off riff. We're going to be on the 5th fret on the A string. We're going to give it like a little bend, like a little small bend, and we're going to pull off to the 3, then pull off to open. Well, we can do through Fire and Flames one day, but I mean, you got to be prepared for that taking like a long time. That's not the kind of thing you can fit into, you know, a single 2 or 3 hour stream. Plus, I'd have to learn the whole thing. I mean, that song's like 8 minutes long or something, isn't it? And it's like pretty much entirely sweep picking. Where's it go? No, it's higher than that. You know. But I'm sure eventually we'll get around to doing that because, like, I think it's kind of required by law at some point. I wouldn't mind learning the whole thing, but holy crap, that's going to be a lot of work. All right, let's get back here and let's work on this pull-off riff again. Let's listen to it again. Battle. Hey man, I know this guy that holds a world record for playing Highway Song. He played it for 72 hours straight. Let me tell you, boy. Right, so 5th fret pull off, down to 3rd, down to open. Then after the 4th one, doing it pretty fast, I have to actually count. we land on the power chord on the 3rd fret on the A string. So let's see. Then we're going to do that how many times? Boom. Sounds like we're going to go down to B. I'm using entirely downstrokes for that. Typically, if I have like a pull-off type lick like that, I'm going to use a downstroke to make sure we get the most kind of impact on it. An upstroke just doesn't have the weight. It doesn't have like the sort of push that we want when we have some kind of like pull-off. Then we're driving right back down to 2nd fret power chord. Right there, that B power chord. For 2 measures, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a... Alright. So, again, 5th fret on the A string, pulled off to 3rd, pulled off to open. Then after the 4th one, we land in the power chord on the 3rd fret on the A string. Then down into the power chord on the B. You're back. Welcome back. You've missed a whole lot of tremolo picking. A job offer out of state like you were looking for? Like Texas or somewhere? Or just like something local to do? Well, didn't you want to work for CCP in Atlanta? Keep went to the same place. I mean, you used to be doing a lot of stuff for China anyway, right? So I mean, there's not really that big of a difference. All right, so let's see what comes next. All right, so basically we just landed big E power chord afterwards. Something, something, patriotism, the refuge of scoundrels. So after we come out of the second run through of the pull-off rail, come up to this big power chord where we have the 7th fret. Hey, Jimmy's, thanks for following, dude. Or Jimmy A. Jimmy A. Hop in and say hi. Hop into chat. We're just jamming. We have a Discord. Oh, dude, it's James. What's up, James? Got your own account? We're jamming on some Venom, which was Keep Watch's suggestion. Alec totally knows what you guys are talking about. He's just being a troll. So, we come out of that second pull-off riff. Into this 799 E power chord on the A string. Have the nice big open E underneath it. Makes it like super huge. Hey, see if one of you dudes can figure out how to set up Chatbot in the mod panel so that whenever we want to drop the Discord, you can just, type bang Discord and it'll drop automatically. So I was trying to fiddle around with that earlier, but I wasn't quite sure how to get it working. I don't know if it's something that the mods can do or if I have to do it on my end. But you would think the mods would be able to do it. Dude, Roarbot, do you want to be one? You can be one. If you can handle all that power. No, New was a krautrock band from like the 70s, dude. Pretty good, actually, though. Speaking of krautrock, ripped the guy from Kraftwerk. All right, so let's see. Where were we? Let's get back to the tune real quick because there's not much left. Main riff again. Back up. So before we go back into the main riff, we have a big finger slide from somewhere around 12th, 15th fret. Open string. So depending on if you want to come up into the note, you can get an extra little. But this one sounds like it's just straight open and then a downward slide. The easiest way to remember how a song is organized. Typically people will write out, charts that will, like if you're not actually working from, say, sheet music or tablature or something like that, you'll break them down into the sections that are repeatable. So in this case, I'm thinking like, okay, verse riff is the... Right, thinking of that as verse riff, then thinking like pre-chorus or bridge riff, whatever you want to call them. Right? So we have that. We have, verse riff X number of times. Bridge riff. Verse riff again before we go into the chorus. The chorus riff. Right? So I'm breaking each one down into kind of like mentally into a little chunk. And then like if you want to write it down, if you're having problems remembering it all and you want to write it down, then just simply take each chunk, give it a name, and write it on a piece of paper and put it in front of you. Or a notepad document or something. Because otherwise, I mean, a lot of the times I'm working from sheet music or whatever, and so it's kind of a non-issue. But like Alex says, you know, play it a few times, and then hopefully you should be able to remember most of it, especially like this, because this has only got a couple parts, and none of them are terribly complicated, relatively speaking. So. Then back into main riff. And let's see. So just verse riff again. Pre-chorus riff, verse riff, chorus, all right, so our outro, we're coming out. We have another verse sequence, pre-chorus sequence, chorus sequence. Right, so we have all that bit again. And, come out of that into essentially just the A power chord. We have the open E power chord for the last lay down your soul. Lay down your soul. Da, 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 da. When we get to the very, very, very last hit, it's just a 3rd fret power chord up to a 5th fret. So super easy. Down your soul for the God's rock and roll. Oh God, hold on. And that's pretty much it. It's only a couple parts, and it's basically all power chords and single notes, with the exception of that little chorus bit where we have these little thirds and stuff. No, dude, seriously, like towards the end, he just kind of like chokes on his own voice. Put the cookie down. Get to the chopper. That's the joke. So, again, it's just learning each individual little bit. Main riff. Bridge riff, or pre-chorus, if you want to call it that. And if again, 2 fingerings we can use for that. We can either go to the 2nd fret, or we can go down to the 7th fret. It's actually a little easier to me. Then this D, back into main riff. Then chorus, from a G up to an A. Then the open B and G. 1st fret on the B. Hold on, let me turn a little bit. 1st fret on the B, open G. 2nd fret on the B, with the open G along with it. 2nd fret on the G, 3rd fret on the B. Then back to that 1st fret open. So. Then back to an A power chord, then repeat. Then our first lay down yourself, da, 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 da. Then first fret, third fret, third fret, fifth fret. Then drop down a string. Throw in a pick scrape if we want there. Then, hold on a second. What was the other part? Let's back it up a little bit. We get, we repeat. We get our B, the part where we just kind of like sit on a B for a while. It's kind of funny. At the end, we play 4 measures, 4 16th note bars of that B. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 3 and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 and a 4 and a 2. And at the end of that fourth one, we drop down to the A, then up to the B flat. So open, 1. Then the second time, instead of doing the little chromatic walk up, we hit the E power chord and then drop down to a D power chord. And I'm throwing in those little triplets because it's fun, but it's basically just kind of like an 8th note, kind of slightly syncopated 8th note rhythm. Then we hit the pull-off riff. I'm using the standard terminology because that's what most people are going to be familiar with, but we're in C sharp. Because if we're in C sharp, it's a C sharp. This is C sharp down to a B. But it's probably unlikely that this is bothering anybody in perfect pitch that's listening to this, because I doubt anybody with perfect pitch is listening to this, but you never know. So then our pull-off riff, 5 3 0 5 3 0. 4 times. 3rd fret power chord. By perfect, you mean exactly the opposite. All right. So, first time through the pull-off riff. Drop down to B. Pull-off riff again. Then up to the A power chord, or E power chord, excuse me. And then that big finger slide down on the low E string. Then verse riff again. As we come out of it, verse, chorus, all the same stuff basically repeated over again. Then when we get to our very, 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 very end, our last lay down your soul is an open E power chord. Bam. Then the final tag for black metal, it's just 3rd fret to 5th fret. And that's it. That's black metal. Not really too tough. Keeping the whole thing up at tempo, it's pretty tough. Yeah, no problem, dude. Thanks for stopping in. Keep the requests in the Discord coming. Drop that Discord again at one of you dudes. So we'll have stuff to keep working on. Rip and tear. Gonna start playing music from the Doom soundtrack. I mean, all the stuff from the Doom soundtrack was literally just ripping off all the old thrash metal and black metal bands and stuff, like straight up. That's only if people start requesting gent. Dude, I'm all about it. You want to learn? In the still of the night. How does that riff go? Strings are saying, "What on earth are you doing in this tuning?" All you ever like? Do you just want to learn John Sykes' entire discography? Basically everything that John Sykes did and then nothing else. Have to get the Les Paul out again if we're going to do John Sykes stuff. Dang it. Distracted. Is he still alive even? I'm gonna tweak my tone a little bit. Just give me just a sec. The EQ on this preamp is really, 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 really touchy. Tiny little adjustments. All the early thrash stuff, just play pentatonic scale solos on top of them. Is he playing with anybody, or is it just going to be a solo album? Just a sec, the Z string's drifting out. My nuts binding. It's even more ludicrous if we're already in this tuning. We could go. Drop B. It's pretty preposterous. I mean, we're all the way down into 7-string territory now. Not really even anywhere close to the gain cap of this preamp, too. That's way too much, though. Like, that's so much gain that you can't actually get any focus on the low end. Like, you completely lose definition. That's better. All right, so any questions about the Venom tune? We need to go over anything in that again, or shall we move on to something different? How'd that riff go? Getting some tech death stuff. Well, let's see. What shall we do next? What kind of stuff are you guys feeling at the moment? Let's get back up closer to let's get back closer to standard tuning. Probably going to put this in E flat because the strings are a little heavy for standard. If we're going to do Racer X, I got to change guitars. I got to change to an Ibanez or something. Strings are ancient too, so they might break on the way up here. What'd you link, Keep Watch? A good song. Is it Freight Train by Nitro? Because that's pretty much what I expect you to link. Not that good. Doesn't meet the high standards of Nitro. Yep, my nut slots are binding. My B string keeps overshooting the note. Back in standard with this guitar, you feel like you're kind of obligated to play. It's actually slightly too fast. It's not quite that quick. Let's see, what's that fill? Slow that down a little bit. Towards the end of that little fill, you hear like he's double tracked it, or actually triple tracked it even. And when he's doing these little pull-offs, he's actually doing it on slightly different frets. So it becomes really kind of messy sounding when you hear the guitar in isolation, but you hear it in the mix and it makes it sound enormous. But a little bit too much high end for that tune right now, though. All right, I'll open your link here and see what you've linked. What have we got? All right, like more super angry stuff. Dude, that's super easy. That's literally just like the open E and then a power chord on the 3rd fret. You got to boost your bass way up though and like pull all your mids out completely. Okay, it sounds like every other time once the verse starts, after he gets to the G that's held. See if I can hear if he goes all the way down to the F. Let me back it up. Down. Yeah. So every other time he comes down, when he comes to comes down to the 1st fret, then it just kind of starts over. All right, so let's see if anything interesting changes. So then here it sounds like we've just got like an open vamp. Let me listen to it again. Can't quite hear it super clear, but So just like open string, 3rd fret, 6th fret, 3rd fret, then 3, 6. And the second time you can't quite hear it. It's a little lost in the recording. Sounds like he goes down the second time. So. Kind of like in the verse. 3-1. Alright, so then back to the main riff. So back to the main riff, then back that up again. Sounds close. It's really, really buried. So that sounds like he's playing the 2nd fret, and then the 3rd fret on the A string, then the 5th fret. Dun, dun, dun. He might be pulling off. The bass is actually pulling off on the E string. So the bass is... If you're doing it all on one string, then that would be 00, 70, 6 or 80, 10, 08, 07. And so that landed on a B power chord there. It sounds like it's going to go into a pretty standard black metal thing here. So we have 2nd fret, we have the B note. It may be a power chord. It's really difficult to tell because of the recording quality. We have the 2nd fret, 3rd fret, back to the 2nd fret, up to the 5th fret, back down to the 2nd fret. So we land in that B. All right, so right, so we do that kind of underneath that bit, then it changes up a little. Let me back that up a touch. So, this might be played. It might actually be played entirely on the E string. Because it sounds like he plays the A to the G on the same string, rather than going. So if it's played entirely on the E string, when we come out of that section, the tremolo pick section, power chord on the 7, then 10th fret, 12th fret, back to 7, 3-5 or 5-3, down like that. Second time it just lands on the 5 and stops on it. The last time, it just comes down a half step below. It comes down to the 6. Boom. So, first time, second time, third time, fourth time, we just come down to the 6th fret. All right, we're back to. So 7, 8, 7, 10, 7, 8, 7, 10. Just. Repeating that for a while more. Yeah, that riff again. Then we have just an A to a B power chord. Back to the original riff. So we come out of this section. Then drum fill, back to the main riff. Right, now we're probably, I bet we're going to repeat the little second riff too. All right, a little variation on it there that time. So we still have the O, 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 3, O, 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 6, O, 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 3, O. But then we jump up. Let me listen to it again, the first run through. Do, da, do, da, da. Da, da, da. Oh man, that's buried. So, taking the riff and moving it up an octave. Right, so that, the what would be 310 is now 10 on the A string, 8, 7. So then back into that time it slides back and forth between them. Main riff again. So then we just land on big E power chord. So not too bad, really. Nothing terribly hard in there, aside from just maintaining the tremolo picking for the sort of the sort of black metal-y section in the middle. Need to go over anything in that one again? Let's check this. That's not too bad. It may actually, I mean, it's played in E, but I would almost suspect that they're playing a guitar in B standard and they're actually playing all of that on the A string rather than playing it on the E string. Because their strings sound really loose when you listen to it. When they hit some of the power chords, you can almost hear the string kind of flop a little bit, which makes me think that they're tuned way down, but they're still just playing it in E. Just move down a string. Alright, let's see. What shall we do next? Let's find one of the ones that Alec wanted us to check out, even though he's gone for the moment. But let's see if we can find... What did he want to do? Let's see what we got. See what tuning we're in. Looks like we're in standard tuning. Dun-dun-dun. Alright, I'm going to pull this tune up. See what it's. See what it sounds like. This is a tune by Creator that I've never heard before, so let's check it out. Boom, boom. Play that here. Let's listen to the timing of that again. That's the upper guitar. What's the second guitar? There's clearly a harmony on that. I don't know. Sepultura kind of had their own vibe. What's our harmony? It's not a major third. It might be a minor third. Close. That's our high harmony. Close, almost. It's our lower note. Our lower note's a little bit different. Ba-da-ba. This is pretty much what you got to do when you're trying to learn to figure out these harmonies. You sit here and you listen to it the same little bit, tiny little bit, 1,000,000 times. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I'm gonna put in the low. Well. Sounds like the second guitar part goes higher. Da, close, getting close. Da do da do da 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 da. So da 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 da. Da dum ba dum. All right, so our intro. Alright, then I'm guessing our heavy rhythm is going to come in. Da da da. Pretty close. Let's back that up a little bit. Dun, 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 ba, da, da, da. Up knee ringing out. Pretty close. Bottom, bottom. That's much closer than this this stupid chart here. Let's look at this other one, see if it's any better. Yeah, marginally. Just to use our ears. Alright, so once we actually come into the verse riff here, I'm going to start with a power chord on the first fret, down to the open. We're going to go from first fret to the second fret. So first fret, second fret, then we come up to the A string, first fret, up to the second, down to the first fret on the E, and let's see, we have a little we have a little crescendo there on the F. Repeat that again. Almost. E, G, B, F sharp, F, E. Okay. So our chorus, pretty easy. E, G, B, F sharp, F, E. So. Alright, and the tail end of the chorus just drops off like that. I'm going to scoop my mids a touch. This has a little more scoop tone than we've been playing with. There we go. A little more appropriate for this sound. So well, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, we're working on a creator tune that Alex suggested. So a little more thrashy, like the stuff the Recs we did to yours were more kind of black metal-y. This is more kind of thrash. So. So our verse riff, once the actual sort of verse riff kicks in again, first fret, second fret, with of course the open in between, because I mean it wouldn't be thrash metal if you weren't chugging on the open string in between. So 001, 002, 0000. Then we drop down to the second, the fifth string, first fret, power chord up to second fret. Now our chorus is super easy. Our chorus is just an E, G, B, F sharp, F, E. So let's jump over to it again here. Skip forward a little bit. So B, G, B. So it gets us up through the chorus and into the second verse. Same riff. Dun dun. G, B. Oh, that one plays a trick. So second chorus. So that one, when it drops down to the F, comes back up to the F sharp. Then up to A. So second chorus changes things up. Comes down from A to A flat. So second chorus. See how many measures it stays on that, though. One, two, three, four, two, two, three, four, three, two, three, four, four, two, three, three, four, and two, and three, and four, and two, and two, and three. Okay, so come out of that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and after the A flat or the G sharp, we come up to B. With just a hit. So, second chorus. da-doom, da-doom, da-doom. It's a little bit different. Drum fill. And a solo. Sounds like a little pull-off lick. So let's listen to it. And that's just minor blues scale. So let's see. We got our pull-offs. Oh, where at? It's not that high. Close. Might actually be tap. Because it sounds almost like a big hop. Let's slow it down a little bit. Cool thing about YouTube, you can just slow a phrase down. So it's pulling off from some. Getting close. Getting close. I wonder if there's a live version of this too. So it sounds like two different strings, but it may not be if it's tapped. Come on, load, 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 please. Oh man, they're all old in this. Alright, it should be shortly after this bit. That dude's playing it totally differently. Not even playing it the way they originally played it. Let's see if we can find like a really old video. Oh, there's 1992. So I want to get an idea. Of the fingering they're using. Man. Yeah, he is tapping it. Okay. That makes so much more sense. All right. Whoop. All right, so it shifts to the G minor pentatonic. And so he's using sort of a tapping lick. Looks like probably something to this effect. 13th fret, and then we're in like using like say minor pentatonic. Got a few more notes thrown in there. Then into basically just straight up pentatonic. More tapping. So that moved up to B, then tapped its way up chromatically. Then moved up to D, and basically made its way up like the minor scale with tremolo picking. So we're starting off in G. Coming up to B. Then start to tap chromatically up. Then up to D. Up the minor scale with tremolo picking. Going out of tune a little bit here. All right, then we get like a 3-part harmony. No, not major thirds. And what's our high part? Would you play, please? Da da da. So we got like a 3-part stacked guitar harmony there. We have the root. Then we have like say a minor third. No, we don't have a major third on the D. Let's hear what the harmony on that 5 is. So perfect 5th harmony. And it sounds like there's a high octave on top of it too. So probably like in actuality it's really just stacking up a power chord, but since it's on like 3 different layers of guitar, it doesn't have the same quality as playing a power chord on one guitar. You need to be able to like actually record it and layer those three on there to get the sound to sort of feel right. The attack is all wrong otherwise. Back into the verse riff. Still verse riff. Chorus. Here's some stupid Floyd Rose tricks in the background. So yeah, verse riff out and then chorus riff out again. Alright, so the main riff, like the verse and chorus riffs and stuff aren't too bad. Having to work out all the little harmonies in the solo will take some time, but I have to make sure to tell Alec to check this out, but the bulk of that isn't too bad at all. Alright, let's see, let's kill that. So let's see, we're at a little over 2 hours. Monday nights just seem terribly slow. Like we've had hardly anybody drop in, and it's been that way for like three or four Mondays in a row now. I'm kind of wondering if Monday is just kind of like a slow night in general, or if we've just been playing really, really, really ugly music and scaring the few people who stopped in away. Yeah, it's officially summer though. But I mean, in general, like Wednesdays have been really good. You know, Wednesdays have probably been our best days in terms of like people being online and people following and that kind of stuff, and people getting into chat. Mondays, for the most part, have been kind of dodgy. Friday's been kind of dodgy too, honestly. Though maybe Friday people are just like, you know, occupied watching other games and stuff. You mean streaming on YouTube? Because I really don't know what the deal is with streaming over there at all. Like, I've never watched anyone stream on YouTube, I don't think. I don't know anything at all about YouTube's model. Um, I mean, dude, like the asynchronous YouTube vid is not like really what I'm shooting for with what I'm doing now. Like what I want now is more kind of like the direct interaction. Like cutting up bits of these or parts of these and using them as YouTube vids is one thing, or doing like a standalone demo or review as a YouTube vid is one thing, but like it's not really kind of like what I wanted out of this, or what I want to do with this particular thing that I'm doing now. Because as far as like guitar stuff goes, YouTube is incredibly saturated. Like there's practically no way to carve out any kind of niche. You just have to hope the algorithm likes you. No. No. Neither of those things. Unboxing what? Unboxing cereal. Yeah, it is pretty amazing, like how many I've talked to that don't even know what streaming is. Like all of my adult students and stuff didn't want to continue lessons via Zoom because they were afraid of it. Like I've never heard of that. How does that work? Oh Lord, don't even try to explain to people what that is. At best you can be like, it's kind of like an IRC, but not exactly. But then you still have to have old nerds for them to understand what that means. Yeah, but they don't know what Zoom is. When you try to explain to them that it's like Skype but kind of works better, then they get even just like their head explodes. And then there was all the stuff, all like the security stuff that went down where people were like breaking into Zoom calls and, interjecting porn and stupid stuff like that. And they're like, oh my God, Zoom is hacked. They're going to steal your bank account. I saw on the news, I read on the Yahoo News comments about how Zoom will hack your computer. Strings are too dead to get pinch harmonics. It doesn't sound familiar. I've seen a bunch of people do that kind of stuff. Well, let's see. Check that. No, that's fine. Okay, well, let's say we've been at it for a little over 2 hours and we got basically 3 songs done, discounting like the actual full solos and harmony stuff in the last tune, just because we have to actually spend some time on working that out. But so unless anybody's got any last requests or anything they want to talk about, I think we'll probably just wrap it up for the evening, because it's just getting later. It's now 11:30. But what are you guys going on about? Oh, Lord. All right. Well, I'm going to call it an evening. Playing this, a lot of this stuff kind of starts to wear you out. It starts to, especially gets your right hand a little bit sore, or your picking hand. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Make sure to stop in Wednesday night. Hopefully this Wednesday will be jumping as Wednesday normally is, and then maybe extra jumping because we're going to start our first official Weeaboo Wednesday. I'm going to use the full word. I'm not just going to call it Weeb Wednesday. I'm going to call it Weeaboo Wednesday, where we learn anime and game theme songs. So if you want to learn any particular anime and game theme songs, jump in the Discord. Somebody hit that Discord link, Keep, if you would. Jump in the Discord and go to the Weeb Wednesday request section. Yeah, dude, Hype, you need to go in and put all the ones you had in the old channel into the new channel. I already know which one, at least the first one that I'm going to be doing. this Wednesday because I've had it picked out for a while now. Like once I started thinking about the idea, but we may do more than one depending on how much time we have because it's not super hard. So if you've got appropriate stuff like video game, anime related, other kind of stuff, dude, you probably did a freaking Idol song. But just like J Rock in general, J Rock and J Pop kind of stuff in general, you're welcome to throw in there if you want. Um, get it in the channel, get your recommendations and requests in, and I'll take a look at them and see which ones are feasible, at least in the short term. You know, if you throw something super, super, super hard, then obviously it'll take me a little time to work it out. But get it in there. Most stuff we can usually at least get the basics done pretty quickly. But, thanks for hanging. Stop by this Wednesday for Weeaboo Wednesday. See you later, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out.